Hello. Welcome back to Life After Plus One. I'm Leanne, your podcast host and your single parent mentor and coach. And today I want to talk about a topic which probably resonates with a lot of you out there. It's when you've broken up from a relationship and you've got all these emotions going through you that you just don't know how to handle or how to control. And it ends up resulting in you holding on to anger. And it's causing you to be angry in your current situation because of things that have happened in the past. And today we're going to talk about that. How do you let go of that? How do you separate what's happened in the past from your current situation? And how do you move forward in a more positive way?
Welcome to the Life After Plus One podcast, where we turn life's lemons into delightful lemonade. Get ready for inspiring stories, uplifting conversations, and all the tips and tricks to rock your single parent journey with style. I'm your host, Leanne, and it's time to embrace the adventure of Life After Plus One. So, let's dive in.
Okay, well, you might be thinking straight away, well, I don't hold on to anger. I'm fine. I've gotten over my ex. I'm over my past. I'm good. But if you aren't sure if you are in this situation, the best way to know is one, are you having issues trusting people again? Are you having issues opening up? Are you holding resentment to certain people because of your ex? Say, for example, you dated females and now all of a sudden you've got this anger and resentment to all females that you come into interaction with. And you're just like, oh, you just want this, you just want that. You're just going to screw me over because your ex did it to you. Or you might be in a similar situation with men, or whatever your dating preferences are. You're holding resentment to certain people based on what's happened with your ex. That's not healthy. You can't continue life in that way. And sadly, it is quite common. You see it so much where people just have these negative perceptions of certain people and they're judging them and they're jumping down their throat based on a certain situation that's happened with their ex. You really need to remember, if you're ever in this situation where you're hating on someone or you're hating on men, you're hating on women or whatever you're doing, because of something that you've been through, because of a situation that you've been through with one or two particular people. So you're judging a whole race or a whole gender based on this. You need to remember, not everyone is the same as your ex. Everyone is individual. Everyone is different. Maybe your ex fucked you over. Maybe they were an asshole. Maybe they did something completely fucked up. But you've got to remember, that was your ex. That is not a reflection of every single person in that same gender as them. You can't do that. You can't go through life hating on people and having all this built up frustration and anger and all these emotions because of something your ex did. It's time to let that go. So I'm going to run through some steps of what you can do if you find yourself in this situation. You're finding yourself just angry at certain people and getting snappy because of a situation that you've been through in the past, or you're just struggling to get rid of that anger and hurt and just be in a happy place. How do you move forward? Well, first thing, reduce any reminders of your ex. If it's a particular person that is making you angry, that's making you frustrated, that's causing you to have these negative emotions, get rid of any reminders you have of them. In this situation, you might have some people say that, well, we were married. We were married for 20 plus years. I don't want to get rid of all the reminders. I want to keep those wedding photos, or I want to keep my dress, or I want to keep the rings, or whatever. If they're making you that angry where you're getting snappy at everyone, or not so much everyone, but you're taking your frustrations and your angers out on other people and you're not able to move forward in a healthy way, then it is best for you to remove those reminders. Now, you don't necessarily have to throw it away. Put it in a box and store it somewhere. Maybe keep it for your kids if that's what you're wanting to do. But don't keep it out in plain sight where you're seeing it every day. If it's a wedding photo, if it's something that you guys had when you were married and it's out in the lounge room or in a spot where it's visible to you every single day, and every time you see it, you get the shits or you get frustrated. Well, you know what? This is your time to move it. Chuck it out, give it away, or store it in a box and put it away somewhere. If there's things from your ex that is a constant reminder of your breakup and what happened and how unhappy you are, then remove that reminder of your relationship. You don't want those things keep coming up in your head. Every time you see it, it's triggering you about the relationship and triggering you about the breakup or anything that happened. If you're at a place where you've got all this built up anger, then get rid of any of those reminders from that relationship. Another one is limit contact with them. Now, good chance you're co-parenting. If you're not co-parenting and it's someone you just dated, then you can completely block them. You don't need to have any contact with them if you don't share custody or you don't have kids together. But if it is someone you're married to or have kids together with and you are co-parenting, then limit the contact. Do not have contact about social life, what you're doing, where you're going. You don't need to have this general chit-chat. Keep it only about what's necessary. And when you're co-parenting, the only necessary conversation you need to be having is when it's regarding the kids. Could be pick up, could be drop off, could be anything that's happening with their school life, something that's they may need to go to the dentist and there's an appointment that you want them involved in, anything at all. Those kinds of things you need to communicate. Anything about your personal life or their personal life, you don't need to have that contact. Get rid of it. Get to a point where you can cut off all emotions from them. Because when you've cut off all emotions, you don't have this built up anger that you're directing towards other people. You don't have this hate that you're hating on all other men or women or any other emotions that you're feeling. Get to a place where you can get rid of any emotions or emotional ties, I should say, that you have to your ex. So whenever they are in contact with you, you're just like, oh, okay, that's fine. And you're not affected, you're not triggered, you're not fazed. That's what you need to be doing. And to do that, limit any unnecessary contact and get rid of those reminders. And to do that, you need to have respectful boundaries. Put some boundaries in place. If they keep being mean to you or they're trying to undermine you or they're trying to control you, or they're being nasty, whatever is happening in the situation and it's just not a healthy co-parenting arrangement with your ex, then set healthy boundaries. Let them know that you're not going to tolerate that. No, I'm not going to be spoken to like this. No, I'm not responding to any of this conversation. I'm only going to communicate to you with the kids. You know what? You don't even have to tell them that. Just don't even respond to anything that's going to trigger you or it's going to upset you. Just respond to what's necessary. And that's how you let go of those emotions. Because the more you do it, the more you realize you're not dependent on them. You don't need them. You don't care about what they think. You don't care about what they say because there's a good chance they will keep telling you their opinions of you and what they think you should be doing and everything else. Don't let that bother you. You've got to learn to cut that off because when they're doing this to you, it's upsetting you and it's frustrating you and it's pissing you off and you're going to end up taking your anger out on other people because you're not seeing them. You're not in contact with them. You're going to hold that anger and bottle it up. So when you go out into the dating world again, you've got all this built up anger and frustration from your ex and boom, it's going to get taken out on the next person. Find a way to get rid of that. Let go of that frustration and let go of any emotional connection you have with your ex that's causing you to have all this current anger and resentment. Now, another big thing that you can do to help you in this area, and it's something I harp on a lot in all these episodes, and that is self-care. It is so important to look after you and do things for yourself. Now, I'm recording this on a Sunday. My daughter's actually at her dad's this weekend, and I just went for a walk myself. Now, stupidly, I didn't check the weather, and I got rained on halfway, but it was halfway there, so I had no choice. I had to walk halfway back in the rain. But hey, I may do. And even though I got wet, I still felt better after it. Just getting out and getting a nice half an hour, 45-minute walk, however long it was. So use what time you can to do something for yourself. Now, I have plenty of episodes where I do talk about how you can make time for yourself, about things that you can do, about allocating time first thing in the morning or first thing in the night or using friends to do school pickup or school drop off. There are so many ways that you can do things to look after you. Now, I'm not going to go into that in this episode because it is discussed in so many other episodes, but you need to do things for yourself. If you're getting so much anger and negative emotions running through you because you do when you're going through a breakup. You're experiencing every single kind of emotion and high and low that you can think of. It's a roller coaster of emotions. And whilst you're going through this, you need to look after yourself. And even if it's just going down to the pub for a 15-minute quick beer with a mate because you don't have time to do anything else, even if it's just sitting at home and having a face mask at night when the kids are in bed, just do something that's going to make you feel a little bit better. Now, it's not going to change the whole situation, but doing stuff for yourself makes the world of difference in your mood, because you do that and you think, oh, that was nice. I might do something else tomorrow. Or the next day, I might do that again, but I'll do it a little bit longer. And then you slowly increase it. And then you start to slowly realize how important it is. And then you start to think, well, you know what? I need to start scheduling this. I need to start prioritizing time for me, not just for my kids. Yes, I love my kids. Yes, they're important, but I'm important too. So when you're going through all these emotions and you've got all this anger and hurt and everything else going on through your head and through your system, and you just can't stop thinking of this negative shit and you're taking your frustration out on other people, step back and just start to look after you. Start doing things to make yourself happy again. Another big tip of what you can do, because feeling all these emotions after a breakup is totally normal. I am not saying at all that you shouldn't be angry, you shouldn't be hurt, you shouldn't be frustrated, you shouldn't be pissed off. No, you will feel it. It is normal. It is part of the process. But when you are going through this, try and manage your emotions in a healthy way. And when I say in a healthy way, I'm saying don't jump on Facebook and attack the first person you see because they've just triggered something in you, and so you just think, I'm going to fucking show them. No, that's not handling your emotions in a healthy way. Handling your emotions in a healthy way is, one, go talk to a friend. Talk to a friend and let it out that way, and let them give you some advice, or let them just listen to you, give you some support, whatever it is that you need. You might want to be listened to. You might want someone to give you some advice. Whatever it is, use your friends. 2, if you don't want to talk to your friends, write it down. Write it down. I'm pissed off at my ex because they did this. I'm pissed off at that happened. I'm pissed off at this. Write it down, because I tell you, that does make you feel better. And if you want, scrunch it up and burn it. Do whatever you want to do. But just writing it down, it helps to let it out instead of bottling it up and letting it out at the wrong person. And with handling it in a healthy way, the other way that you can manage this is through sport or just being active, going for a run, do some boxing, go out for a surf, just something that's going to get your adrenaline pumping and that makes you feel a little bit better afterwards. That is a great way to let those emotions out and just get that anger out when you're out. Run as fast as you can. Box and kick that fucking punching bag. Do whatever it is that's just going to help you release that anger. But like I said, don't bottle it up and let it out on everyone on Facebook or the first person that you see in the street because they were driving a little bit too slow for your likings. That's not how it works. So when wanting to change, if you see this pattern in you and you want to start making some positive changes, you need to be open to trust and to forgive people. You can't say, yep, I want to change. I don't want to be like this anymore. But then when it comes to meeting someone, you're like, I can't trust them. I can't open up. I can't tell them all my secrets because they're just going to use it against me. Then you haven't moved on. Moving on is learning to trust again. Moving on is learning to open up, let your walls down, let your guard down and let people into your world. It's a risk you're going to have to take. But when you're genuine and you're authentic and you're real, that's how people connect with you. But getting to that point does take time. Just wanting to be able to trust again and to open up is not something that you're just going to do straight away. It is a slow process. It is something that you're going to have to slowly get through. And when you're in that process, the best way to do that is if you are in the dating world and you are meeting people, tell them where you're at, because being open is what somebody wants in a relationship. They want someone that's going to communicate where they're at. They want someone that's not going to be a closed book. And so when they've left the date or they've left spending time with you, they've just walked off and go, I don't know. I don't know if they like me because they just didn't give me any signals. I don't know much about them because I just wouldn't open up. I just don't know anything. You don't want someone to walk away like that. Be open and honest. Say, you know what? I am looking to date again, but I'll be straight up. I have been quite hurt in the past, so it's going to take me some time to open up again. So please be respectful of that. That's a nice thing that they can be open and honest with you. So if you're at that place where you have been hurt and you're still a little wounded, you're not ready to totally jump in, you just want to dip your toes in, then take it slowly, but let them know where you're at. Be open and honest about your situation. Just say, yep, I'm ready for this, but it may just take me some time. It's going to take me a little bit longer than it would for some people because I'm still quite hurt. But just be patient with me. Now, in this process, the biggest thing you need to do is acknowledge your past. Acknowledge what's happened. But most importantly, what you need to acknowledge is any repetitive patterns on your side. Are there things that you're seeing in all these relationships that you've been in, or it might have just been one long-term relationship? Was there something that's happened on your end that was a continual pattern that you keep seeing yourself over and over again? And is there something that you can change? Now, in saying that, I'm not saying that what happened in the past is necessarily your fault, but I am saying that we can all learn from our past. We can all better ourselves from the past and learn to do something different, learn to be a better person. And by looking back and reflecting on what happened in the past relationship or past relationships, what happened that you think that you could do differently to maybe prevent being in that same situation again. So just acknowledge your situation and take accountability for anything that happened on your end you could maybe do differently in future relationships or hopefully relationship. And here's a big one. Look at what triggers you. So when you get really angry at someone, when you're getting really pissed off, now someone might look at you going, whoa, what are they so angry at? And it's something that's really triggered you. Step back and have a look at that. What is it that they've done that's triggered you? Because like I said, for some people, it might be nothing, but for you, it's a big deal. And that's okay. Your emotions are valid. But if you're getting really triggered at something, it's time to look at what it is and what are the behaviors that's causing you to get angry and what are the comments that are being said that's causing you to be angry. And then step back and have a look at that. Have a look at why you're getting so upset. What's causing this to happen? Now, it could be, for example, the good old toilet seat scenario. And you're getting so pissed off that they just keep leaving the toilet seat up. Now, is it the fact that the toilet seat's left up, or is it because you're just feeling like they're not listening to you? Because if they were listening to you, they would have put the toilet seat down. There's always something that's causing you to get upset. There's an emotion there that's being triggered in you that's causing you to react and it's causing you to get upset. So when you're getting triggered by someone, because of something that they've done or something that they've said, I want you to stop and look at that and go, fuck, what's just happened here? Why has that upset me so much? Why am I so bothered by this? Why is that a big issue? And then the best thing you can do here is communicate these triggers. Communicate that to your partner. If you're in a relationship, tell them. And this is the big thing about having healthy relationships. Now, I have done a whole episode on this topic about healthy communication. But if you're wanting a relationship to work, then you've got to communicate where you're at. You've got to communicate your boundaries and you've got to communicate your needs. You can't just expect them to read your mind or not say anything and then walk off and tell your friends, oh, they did this. I can't believe it. But they didn't know it bothered you because you haven't said that. Or you run to Facebook and you say, oh my God, my partner did this. I'm so pissed off. I can't believe it. Well, talk to them. Because I will ask you this question. If you're in a relationship where you're not comfortable asking them questions, you're not comfortable with talking about things and bringing up things that bother you, then why are you in a relationship with this person? Because that's what a relationship is, where you can open up and you can feel comfortable with them to communicate about anything and everything. That's what you want in a partner. So if you're with someone and you're feeling triggered and something they're doing is really bothering you, bring it up to their attention and just let them know, hey, it's not necessarily you, but that particular comment really bothers me and I don't like it. And I'm trying not to let it get to me, but at the moment it does. So if I could ask you not to say that. So moving on after a breakup, yes, you are going to have all these different emotions. And as I was saying, it is a roller coaster of emotions. One minute you might feel really excited and happy that you're not with them. The next minute you'll be sad and lonely and miserable. Then the next minute you'll be looking forward to going out with your friends without them. And the next minute you'll be angry and pissed off that it all happened. It goes up and down, up and down. That's what happens. It's a huge deal. And I think people underestimate how much or how difficult this can be, especially when you have kids. And it's great that you're ready to move on and date again. It's great that you're putting yourself out there and meeting someone new. But when doing that, please make sure you're getting rid of all that anger and any of those negative emotions from your past relationship. Do not bring them into your new relationship. Do not bring them into the next relationship where they do something that pisses you off and then you're just going to get angry at them for something so small and minor because you're holding on to all this anger and hurt. You need to let go of that. And if you haven't completely healed before getting into the dating world, at least start. At least make that effort because nobody is ever completely healed. There is no such thing. I'm completely healed. I'm perfect. It doesn't exist. But if you start to make some positive changes, if you start to recognize what you can do differently, if you start to recognize how you can handle your anger and your emotions in a different way, if you can start to withdraw yourself from your ex a little bit, get rid of those reminders, reduce contact with them, set your boundaries with them so they're not interfering with your life. Do what you can to get rid of that anger and get rid of those things that are pissing you off so you're not directing it at the wrong people. And it is so important to not compare other people in the dating world to your ex. What happened with your ex is what happened with you and your ex. It is not necessarily what's going to happen with you and a new partner. And everyone behaves in different ways. Everyone handles things in different ways. So just because it didn't work with your ex, it doesn't mean that your ex can't move on and find someone else because they might be able to tolerate their behaviors. They might be able to communicate things differently. They might be able to, be more understanding of certain things. Well, I'm not saying that you're not, but everyone handles things differently. We're not all meant to be matched with everyone. So don't think that because it didn't work with your ex, that it's not going to work with someone else. You need to try reframe that outlook and go, yeah, okay, it didn't work. This was a fucking shitty situation. It really gave me a huge wake-up call. But hey, I've learned that that wasn't my person. They weren't for me. And I'm now a stronger, more confident person. So in a way, I'm glad it happened because it's taught me a lot about myself. That's how you need to look at it. Instead of sitting there being angry and miserable and getting all precious because you got hurt. Now, I'm not saying that that's okay. But realistically, if we're all in the phase of being a single parent, then we've all been hurt. Everyone has been hurt. It's just how you choose to handle that hurt. Are you going to live in that hurt and pain? Are you going to sit there and stay there and be miserable there? Are you going to go, okay, that was fucked. I need to get out of this situation. I need my life back on track and I want to get out and meet someone new. So I'm not going to sit here and live in misery lane. I'm going to make my life much better. Because let's be honest, if they were meant for you, then they would not be your ex. So find the positive in the situation. Okay, like I said, I understand there's probably a lot of hurt. There's probably been a lot of things that have fucked you over, maybe financially, mentally, emotionally. But you can't stay there. You can't keep stewing on the past. You can't keep holding on to these emotions. It's okay to feel hurt. It's okay to be pissed off. It's okay to want to punch them in the face. I'm not telling you to do that. Don't do that. Go to the gym and punch a punching bag. Never, ever use violence. Not condoning that one bit. So please don't twist my words and pretend like I am. But it is okay to have these negative feelings. Just don't stay there. You've got to get out of it. And you've got to not compare people to your ex. You've got to not compare women or men or anything else to something that's happened in your past. That was a shitty situation, and you need to look at it and go, that was a shitty situation, but I'm now a different person. I'm now not that same person because I've learned how to handle things a lot differently when I get into a new relationship. I've learned how to communicate better. I've learned how to maybe not be so controlling. I've learned how to not be so bossy. I've learned how to be more trusting. Whatever your scenario was, you need to learn something in yourself. Don't just leave a relationship, be angry at your ex, go into a new relationship with still holding that anger towards your ex and not reflect it on yourself and going, okay, what can I do differently? Can I be a better person for this new partner? Can I be a better version of myself for this new partner? That's what you need. Be the better version of you. So when you're in a place when you've got so much anger and hurt, like I said, that's okay. That is going to take some time for you to get over. But just slowly take those steps to make that happen. Don't sit there hating on them. Don't sit there stalking their social media. Don't sit there stalking their new partner. No. That is not going to make your life happier. That is just going to make you get angrier and more pissed off and more jealous or more whatever it is. You want your life to be better? Then start looking after you. Start looking after your self-care. Start doing things that make you happy. You get out into the dating world. You start doing things that you can do to be a better person. Get rid of those reminders from them. Get rid of anything that's holding you back to them, that's bringing up triggers, all these negative emotions, that's pissing you off because of that breakup and what happened or that whole relationship. Get rid of those reminders. And if you're struggling to get rid of these emotions, I shouldn't say get rid of, if you're struggling to move forward and let go of, talk to a friend. And most importantly, I'm here for that. This is what I do. This is what I coach in. I'm here to help through this because these emotions that we go through after a breakup, they're pretty fucked up. It's hard. Nobody knows how to handle it. We're not told what to do and what we shouldn't do. We just wing it and hope for the best. But when you're in these situations, you're so caught up in the breakup and you're heartbroken and you've got all these emotions, you're just not thinking clearly. You don't always handle things in the best way, which is why I'm here. My job here is to help you through this. My job here is to help you see the positive in the situation. I help people communicate with their ex because not everyone can do that in a healthy way. I help people how to manage situations with their ex so they're not getting triggered. How do you move forward? What do you do? How do you let go? This is what I'm here for. So if you are struggling, jump on my website. Let's have a chat. And all the details for that are in the show notes. My website is in the show notes below. Jump on. Let's talk. Let's see what we can do to get rid of this anger so you can be the best version of yourself. Stop taking the anger from relationship to relationship to relationship and you're carrying all this baggage around with you. And then you're blaming the other person. Well, they did this. Well, this was all their fault. Well, they shouldn't have done that. But have you stopped and changed anything about yourself? Have you looked at yourself and gone, okay, that was pretty fucky on my end. Maybe I shouldn't do that in the future. Maybe I can do this differently. And again, it's not a way of blaming you for what happened in the relationship. It's a way of just learning and growing in life. That's what we do. It's like when you're at work and you have those performance appraisals or whatever they're called these days. It's a way to sit back and look at your work and look at what you can do differently and what you can do better. That's the same thing. Give yourself a performance appraisal on what you can do better in your relationships. Okay. So that's about it for me, guys. I hope you got something from this. And like I said, if you are struggling and if you want some extra support, jump onto my website. Let's have a chat. Let's get you back on a healthier, happier path and to be the best version of yourself. And if you are not ready to chat to me, those ebooks are there as well. They are a great support for your at-home help whenever you need something. You're having a night at home and you're feeling shitty and lonely and you're thinking, fuck, what can I do differently? You can sit down and just read a little chapter of that ebook and go, fuck, okay, yep, I get it now. That's what I needed. That's exactly what I needed. Thanks, Leanne. You're welcome. So jump on. All of those details are in the show notes, the ebooks, my website, email, whatever you will need to contact me. All those details are there. And if you're loving the show, you know what I always say, give me a review, give me your feedback, tell me your thoughts and share it with your single parent friends or share it with your friends that are in the process of going through a breakup or thinking about breaking up and don't know what to do, because this is for them too. So thank you, everyone. And like I said, I hope you got something from this episode. And until next time, I'll be in your ears then.
Thank you for joining us on the Life After Plus One podcast. If you loved what you heard today and looking for some further support, then jump onto our website, lifeafterplusone.com. Plus, don't forget to check out our Instagram page for further resources and inspo. You can find all the links in the show notes. And remember, you're not alone on this path. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next episode. And in the meantime, keep thriving, keep growing, and keep exploring your amazing life after plus one.